Breaking the News with Des Clark.
Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And joining me this week is comedian Alan Cochrane, and with him is stand-up Susie McCabe. And facing off against them is comedian and writer Josie Long, and joining her is stand-up Chris Thorburn. In the news this week, singer Don McLean has revealed how he cut short a gig so he could dig into a roast beef dinner in a Glasgow hotel. Hardly surprising, considering his encore is a 9-minute song about a pie. NHS Grampian has asked for military support as it tries to cope with staff shortages amid the COVID pandemic. One patient was unhappy about the Army's involvement after having their appendix taken out by a sniper. California-based firm Joby Aviation... That's their actual name. Joby Aviation has now carried out more than 1,000 test flights of its flying taxis. They say you should be able to book a flying taxi within 3 years. They can't promise it any sooner, as it's been a busy night and they don't have enough drivers. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Alan and Susie, can you tell me our first story, please?
Official figures out today show there's been a 17% fall in the total number of HGV drivers.
In nightclubs across Scotland, virtually everyone over the age of 18 will have to prove they've been
Lorry drivers
before they're allowed into large events. Nightclubs
could take around a year to recover.
So there we go, summing up the week's news. Susie McCabe, what do you think our first story is?
The old vaccine passport to let us mix and mingle.
And that's exactly the right answer. Well done. It is the news that at the beginning of the week, vaccine passports became enforceable by law in Scotland. Nightclubs and large events, like some football matches, will only be able to allow entry to people who can show that they have had 2 doses of a COVID vaccine. These have been brought in to encourage uptake of vaccination in Scotland. And there's a loyalty scheme in place, so for every 10 stamps on your passport, holders will receive a free scooter from Humza Yousaf.
If you try to put the vaccine on your parents' phone, that's a riot. It took my dad 3 days to put it on his phone. 3 days he went, I'll no get into the bowling club.
What do you think about this, Alan? Obviously you live south of the border, where rules are a bit different. Would you be happy to use a vaccine passport?
No, I'm glad that I don't live here. Should I rephrase that? I think a lot of people have got reservations about it creating a 2-tier society, but I don't really see why, because after masks and school closures and lockdowns and track and trace, why would anyone think that this might not work?
Chris, what do you think about this? Obviously, there are some reservations to this COVID vaccination passport. Do you understand that?
The only reason I can really think that some people might not be into it is just because doesn't vaccine passport sound like the title of an 8-minute Radiohead song?
Josie, what do you think about this? Obviously, there are some reservations. Do you understand why it won't be popular for some people?
I do, but I do have an idea for it, which is a lot of people, I think, in England in particular, would really go for the vaccine passport if it was blue, not red. If they could just make it blue. If you just promise them, listen, it's going to be blue. It's not going to have the letters E or U anywhere on it. People will be flocking from Kent. They'll be flocking up to get it.
I'm a bit worried about the structure of this, where I was thinking, if you got the JAG and got the passport at the same time, and they gave you a pint, that would be all right, right? Like, you give blood, you get a couple of biscuits, a wee cup of tea, get the vaccine, get the passport, couple of pints, happy days. I guarantee Scotland will be 100% vaccinated. in like a week. And like people will be like, no, I've definitely no had it, mate. Definitely no, fire in. This is my 5th time here this week. Fire in, pal.
Alan, you obviously represent maybe a bit of cynicism towards this.
You think?
Well,
I did find it funny that Humza Yousaf boasted that some people already had a paper copy of their vaccine passport. And I thought, well, that sounds like some impenetrable technology there. A paper copy. Let's hope none of the anti-vaxxers have a good printer.
Josie, what do you think about this then? What would you do, Josie Long, to encourage more people to get vaccinated?
Well, I was thinking about the fact that after you go, you've got to sit still for 15 minutes. I'm just saying, jazz up the second part, because the jag, you can't jazz that up. That's going to be painful. Second part, 15 minutes, bingo. Like, everyone's all sat there on the little chairs. Give them a bingo card.
I love this.
It'd be brilliant. Say there's a cash prize, a really big one, but say it's only given out once a day. Nobody has to know that it's never been given out. So it wasn't my 15 minutes. Oh, well.
Final thoughts to you, Chris. What would you do to encourage more people to get vaccinated?
A needle in the arm just seems a little extreme. Have we tried making the vaccine snortable?
Staff will be trained to spot fake vaccine passports. It's always a giveaway if somebody uses a picture of their vaccinated arm when it was younger and better looking. Well done, Alan and Susie. You get 2 points for that. Now to you, Josie and Chris. What was the other story we were after?
It's got to do with the fact that there's no lorry drivers and that there's big shortages.
Are you worried about this?
Yeah, I am. Like in this country, they were saying there's a shortage of bouncers. And I was just like, A, I was so sad about it. And B, I thought, I bet you they had a big recruitment fair. Loads of them turned up, but they were all wearing trainers. They weren't allowed in. And that was that, you know what I mean?
It is the news that there is a shortage of HGV drivers across the UK. The Road Haulage Association had previously warned of a shortage of around 100,000 drivers and said the issue has not improved yet despite efforts from the government. And a shortage of materials could see the price of goods rise in the run-up to Christmas, with Primark warning that the price of a T-shirt could even top £1.
They say it's going to, affect Christmas a lot. They're saying one of the things that there's going to be a shortage of is paper, so there's going to be a shortage on wrapping paper. I'm not worried about that, because if you're getting a Christmas present from me this year, it's going to be the same as every other year. I'm going to give you your gift in the same gift bag you gave me last year, and we will continue this dance every year until one of us is dead.
I did find it funny, the article I read, they said the problem was not visibly getting better. And I thought, maybe they just need to press that button that clears the steam off the windscreen.
Susie, what do you make of it? HGV drivers were still at shortage levels. Are you worried about the supply chain?
I've taken to emailing random Nigerians and telling them that I've got 1 billion barrels of gas.
Alan, what do you make about this? What, for you, has been the most noticeable shortage?
Oh, well, the most noticeable shortage recently has been common sense and liberty, but let's not get bogged down. I think a bigger panic is some of the stuff that people are saying about what we should do. Like, I heard somebody on the radio say, we should make the HGV licence easier to get. And I was thinking, I think I'd rather do without pasta this winter than see somebody struggle to drive a 7.5-ton lorry on snow. I think that might be,
Do you know what I was thinking with regard to the numbers? Because I know that there's 100,000 drivers short. And then I worked out 142,000 people currently live in Dundee. Make it like jury service.
Susie McCabe, here's the question. What is the one thing you couldn't live without?
It's a kind of collective for me, because I couldn't pick between them, because it's like your children, right? You can't just choose one. You've got to be fair. So it's chips, crisps and lager. That's it. These are my biggest concerns right now.
My uncle went shopping and was WhatsApping me pictures of empty shelves everywhere. I didn't have the heart to tell him. He was in IKEA. Yes, well done, Josie and Chris. You get 2 points for that. It was indeed the mashup of vaccine passports in Scotland and the shortage of HGV drivers across the UK. And at the end of that round, the teams are all square. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, and this week we spoke to weather presenter Judith Ralston and comedian David Kay. So, Josie and Chris, what story do you think David is on about here?
I think this is a bit ridiculous, really. I mean, 10 grand's a lot. Why not just give them a tenner? I think I'm pretty good at this. Make sure I nod if I see anybody that I should be nodding to. I mean, if it's somebody I shouldn't be nodding to, then they're not getting a nod, but, you know.
Was it the recent survey that apparently like a third of people would happily spend an extra 10 grand on a home if it meant that they had good neighbours?
Chris, you're right. Is it worth, though, the money to ensure good neighbours?
Oh, absolutely, because that's the thing about neighbours. Everybody needs good neighbours. And with a little understanding, we can find the perfect blend. See, neighbours need to look out for one another because that's when good neighbours become good friends. Isn't that beautiful? I just wrote that.
Are you going to sing the Home and Away theme, Josie?
You know we belong together.
Oh, come on. So obviously we're saying 10 grand, it's worth it to ensure good neighbours. Do you think it's worth the money?
Why does it sound like a threat? This is when I saw that, I just imagined like someone going around your house being like, "You want me to be a good neighbour?" Oh yeah, that'll be 10 grand. If not, oh no, I've bought a dangerous dog. It feels like such a threat. Like
It went from neighbours to EastEnders really quickly. We're just summoning Phil Mitchell.
I'm assuming by the time we get to me, it's Emmerdale. Is that right?
It seems excessive, Susie, but do you think it's worth the money?
Well, I thought about this because there's a housing crisis in this country because the baby boomers all bought houses for 50 pence, right? So the young people can't get on the housing ladder. So what about they pay me 2 grand, I will be a terrible neighbour, the neighbours either side of me sell their house taking 10 grand off the price because they hate me, and the young person gets the house with 10 grand cheaper than what it was.
intergenerational justice.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the question. We're willing to pay 10 grand for it, Chris, but what do you look for from the perfect neighbour?
Oh, I've got a low bar. Like, if they would just take the bins out, I would be happy with that. Like, in my block of flats, I'm the person who does it every single week. So if you're listening right now on the radio, yeah, I'm the guy who does it. It's not a fairy who does it. It's me. I do it. I come home late every single week, and I do it. I did it this week, 4 a.m, very drunk. That's why they were squinty this week. Next week, if one of yous could do it, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
What do you think about this then, Josie? We're talking about 10 grand to guarantee good neighbours. So what do you think it is then? What do you look for from the perfect neighbour?
Well, I live in this really great block of flats where the bins just do themselves. I don't know how it happens.
What do you look for in a good or perfect neighbour, Alan?
Ideally, silence. I'd like to be left alone, and I think the pandemic really uncovered that a lot of British people are not great neighbours. You know, all those people that were like, "Hello, is that the police? I've just seen my neighbour going for a second run on the same day."
Susie, what do you want from a perfect neighbour?
Ideally, I would like them to be away all the time. I think that'd be pretty much the perfect neighbour.
Someone military or criminal.
Do you know, when I was thinking about this, I thought, do you know, I would probably even happily live next door to a murder house. Right, because you might end up with a bit of a bumpy patio, right? But your flowers are going to look amazing. That's an award-winning garden.
Yes, the cost of good neighbours is the correct answer. 2 points goes to Josie and Chris. Right, Alan and Susie, what do you think our Judith is talking about here?
12 pence was all you needed to buy this when I was a lass. And I just did not like when they piled up all the dirty plates and there was bits of food sloshing about on them on top of each other.
Is that about school dinners? Because apparently there's a school in Ayrshire, I think, where they've introduced facial recognition for the kids to pay for their dinners. I personally think that they should just scrap all of the facial recognition and just open the canteen and let the kids have like a sort of Lord of the Flies free-for-all, a fight to the death for their dinner, which would be good for some of the bigger kids and some of the more nimble, smaller kids, but, you know, there would be a section of them in the middle that would suffer. But it'd be great to watch, I think.
Thank you to Alan, who's just rewritten the second series of Squid Game. Netflix. Yes, of course, it is the news that 9 schools in North Ayrshire have begun taking payments for school lunches by scanning the faces of their pupils. So obviously there's differing opinions in this. Susie McCabe, do you think this is a good idea?
Well, here's the thing. I went to school in the small Lanarkshire village of Coatbridge, and that is a town twinned with itself. So... it just wouldn't work because they all just look the same. And also, people now pay their kids' dinners on direct debit and it goes onto a card. How are you meant to get a packet of cigarettes with that?
Chris, what do you think about this?
Oh, I think it's a fantastic idea. I mean, not for reality, but like if you're writing a dystopian sci-fi, that's bleak. That works. Put that in there.
I would love it to be a dystopian sci-fi thing just set in Ayrshire. Somebody walking up going, this is like 1984. School dinner one was like, no, £3.50. Josie Long, do you think this is a good idea?
Well, do you know what? It's the bullies I feel sorry for.
That's a great point.
It's absolutely ruining their entire economy of stealing lunch money. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't steal a face. I wouldn't even try.
But generally, what are your memories of school dinners? Susie, take me back there.
Oh, just how aggressive the dinner women were. Like, you know, people go, oh, you remember school dinners, and you would get, you know, like, oh, a little bit of soup, and you'd get mince and potatoes, and you'd get caramel shortcake. You're like, no, I remember being threatened with a fish slice.
Oh, Alan, what do you think then? Take us back. What was it like for your school dinners?
I enjoyed school dinners, and mine were free as well before Marcus Rashford made it fashionable. But I think still to this day, if food is prepared for more than 100 people, I find that everybody else hates it and I really enjoy it, which it's one of the many things that I think would make me a good lifer if I ever get sent to jail.
There we go. The use of facial recognition to pay for school lunches is the right answer, and 2 points goes to Alan and Susie. You're tuned to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. So I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So Alan and Susie, you're up first this time. Who is this?
I love cooking and stuff like that. I love hanging out with my friends and like getting a bit drunk after bedtime and stuff like that and like chatting absolute nonsense.
It's Adele, isn't it?
It is Adele. Her new single, Easy On Me, claimed the biggest opening weekend of 2021. It's also been announced she will be interviewed by Oprah Winfrey in a 2-hour special. So Adele is back. Are you happy to see this, Susie?
My mum loves Oprah, right? And my mum loves Adele. And my mum phoned me and she was like, Adele is going to be on Oprah. Have you heard the new song? I went, yeah, I heard it. Yeah, it's really, really nice. And I've realised I'm in my 40s now, so my mum's kind of grandparent age, and she's just slowly turning into my nana. She went, do you know the thing I like about that, Adele? You can hear all the words.
Chris, what do you think? Are you happy to see Adele back?
Sure. Like, she's got a new album coming out. What's it called?
It's called 30.
And, well, I understand it if I haven't heard the previous 29 albums.
Interestingly, Adele names the album for the age she was when she was writing it. So this one's called 30.
And the thing is, like, Adele recently said that, like, her new album is going to help to explain to her son, like, why she got divorced. And I believe that. Have you heard Mummy's new album? She said, yeah. And have you seen how much the album made? Yeah, that's why Mummy got divorced. Okay.
What do you think about this then, Josie? Adele is back, new song, new album. Are you happy to see her back?
Yeah, I love her, but I feel like she's one of these people who only gets in touch when her life falls apart. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I got a new album, let's listen to it. I'm having a terrible time. Oh. Sorry, Adele.
I never knew that you just said about her naming her albums after what age she was at the time that she was writing them. Was one of them 21 and one of them was 30? I wonder if eventually we'll get several albums just numbered 40. You know that age that a celebrity starts fibbing about their age? There's going to be another 40. That's weird. Adele's 40 again.
Obviously, Adele's songwriting is all about her own life experiences. So, Susie, what would your album be about?
Crisps, chips and lager.
Adele, of course, is the right answer. An interesting wee bit of trivia for any music geeks listening. All of the songs on Adele's first album were recorded in A flat, but the other 3 albums were recorded in A studio. Right, Josie and Chris, it's your turn. Who is this and why are they in the news?
We live in ludicrous times. They're getting out of hand, and we demonstrate that in our show.
I believe that's the actor Brian Cox from the TV show Succession.
Absolutely right answer. Well done. That is the actor Brian Cox, who is the star of hit show Succession, which has returned for its 3rd series and earned Brian plaudits for his portrayal of super-rich Logan Roy.
From what I gather, he's playing a sort of like thinly veiled version of Rupert Murdoch. And the 3rd season's out. It's been getting a lot of promotion from Sky, a company owned by, oh, look at that, Rupert Murdoch. Can't wait for the new Amazon Prime series about a rich nutjob who's trying to conquer space.
This show's all about family having a hierarchy. Josie, do you think every family in some way has a hierarchy?
Yeah, mine does. There's 3 people in my little family. It's me, my partner, and my 3-year-old. And my 3-year-old is very much the boss of the household. And we're very much desperately trying to appease her at all times. Unbearable. Basically, we just spend every mealtime being like, you don't want that? Will you eat this, please? So, yeah, she's very much the Brian Cox of our triad.
I am a bit of a disciplinarian in my family, but it doesn't work because children don't care, do they? I was once in the kitchen and my daughter said to me, "Why have you got a stripy head, Daddy?" And I thought that the sun was hitting the back window and creating shadows. And it took me at least a minute and a half to realise that she meant the 3 massive wrinkles that now furrow my forehead. And it took all that I could do to not go, because I've got you asking me questions like, why have you got a stripy head, Daddy?
Lovely. Brian Cox says Scotland is like an elastic band that always pulls him back. So what's your favourite thing about Scotland?
I'd probably say our sense of determination. I love that. Like, do you remember earlier this year, like the day that the pubs opened up again and like we could only serve outside and it was just pouring down with rain and all of Scotland just came out dressed like they were queuing for Splash Mountain, just like, strike me down, Poseidon. I've waited for this.
But my favourite thing since I've moved here is not realising that I didn't know different words for things. So, like, people said, I'm just going to get the messages. And I'm like, oh, what messages? All stuff like that. Like, it's just, I love it so much.
Susie, for you, what's your favourite thing about Scotland?
So I've got these three things in my life. So I would have to say it's chips, crisps and lager.
Well done, Brian Cox is the right answer. 2 points to Josie and Chris. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
We are no strangers to love.
Yes, I don't know if you saw this. True story, Greta Thunberg launched a global series of concerts highlighting climate change this past week by singing Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Next week, she's going to be standing by your thermostat for a rendition of You Can't Touch This. OK, let's do this. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here we go. 53% of Scots don't do what? Chris?
Consider Edinburgh, Scotland.
53% of Scots don't do what? Josie?
Is it put even a light coat on for a night out in October?
53% of Scots don't do what? Susie?
Actually care where Donald did put his trousers.
53% of Scots don't do what? Alan?
Anything.
I can give you the answer, and it is this, that 53% of Scots don't wash their hands after going to the loo.
In this day and age?
In this day and age.
We are no strangers to love.
Oh, there we go. That is our klaxon. Greta has Thunberg, which means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Josie Long and Chris Thorburn. Unlucky commiserations to Alan Cochrane and Susie McCabe. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. A delivery driver from Stonehaven thought he spotted a flying saucer from outer space while dropping off some groceries. Of course, you know this story is rubbish. I mean, how unlikely is it to see that? A delivery driver. Egypt will bar unvaccinated public service workers from entering government buildings from the middle of next month. Critics of the move have called it just another example of the mummy state. And children's musical group The Wiggles are set to lose their first female member after Emma, the Yellow Wiggle, announced that she was stepping down. The Australian musicians are a global phenomenon, but Emma insists they have not let the fame go to their heads. Shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!